Yeah, hi there. Well, just a quick hello. I'm on vacation. I'm in France again. I want to show you something. Didn't really plan to make a video, but this is something I just want to share with you. So, I was searching for some Merovingian sites around. So this is near Nancy, near Metz, near Nancy. I was searching for some Merovingian places, and this place is, I think it's just awesome. We're gonna watch out, but I think it's just great. So let's see what we can find there. Yeah, and having some good tobacco with me. Didn't light up so far, but I will. Well, it's good tobacco. I thought, yeah, great location. Well, that needs a great tobacco. So that brings me to Rattray's Marlin Flake. One of those well-known, but nevertheless, great tobaccos. So, but I want to talk about tobacco later. So let's first see what we can find here. So all around me, that is a hill here, and this whole hill, this has been a fortified hill, fortified place. Some kind of castle later on, but in the very early time, so in Celtic and perhaps even Bronze Age, this was already fortified or some kind of safe place here. So this hill is higher than all the other hills around. Try to give you a little view around, see if that works. So you see this hill is pretty large, and perhaps you remember the video that I did about the Asseburg. So that's a very similar landmark here. So it is unique here in the landscape, and that brings people, and it always was a magnet to people to come here and to do some fortification or whatever. So there are also Merovingian remains here on the hill, and that's interesting for me. So why don't we just go straight up and just doing a little hike and see what we can find there. So I think, I don't know, 100 meters, there should be first trenches going back to the very early timeline here on the hill. That means that will be Bronze Age perhaps, or at least Celtic time. So that means we're talking about 400 before Christ. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Come on. Yeah, okay. So what you can see here, this is the first timeline here on the hill. So that is at least Celtic time, 400 before Christ, and you see that was first line of defense here. So very deep trench. I don't think camera really shows that properly. So but it goes really very deep down. They're just around the corner. I don't know, it's 20 meters or something. So yeah. So that would have been first line of defense here, especially when it comes to the timeline. So that's probably the oldest part. So okay, just let's go further on. I just have to adjust the camera here. Okay. Yeah, so this whole area, so while we're walking, I'll tell you a little about, perhaps about Merovingian time. So perhaps for those of you who don't have many ideas about what Merovingians mean to the history. So the Merovingians, yeah, that was the first really important noble family in the early medieval times in Central Europe. And I guess you all heard the name Merovingian, so many myths and legends around that, and even the chronicles that tell us incredible things about those folks and this special family. Yeah. Well, if you have ever seen Game of Thrones and you double or triple that, you don't come even close to to this family, what they did and what happened during their times. Perhaps I find time to tell you one or two stories about them. So we're here in this is second timeline. So this is already medieval time. It's no longer Celtic. This is medieval time, and this is the line of defense during the 11th century. So there was a castle up here and a tower, and you can still see the remains on both sides, and the deep trench here. So we're coming closer up. So yeah, just take a look here. You see right left of the tree, so you see this was the gate here. So I'm walking right on the very original way. So this is really medieval timeline here on the way. So these stones, they're really original. And you see there on the right hand more parts of the old defense system here. So this is a defense line here, and we're just crossing the gate now, the medieval gate. So you can see that there. And this would have been a first yard here. So okay, let's get over there. I've seen on the plan that there may be some more remains, some ruins there. Let's take a look. Yep. Where you see here, well, you can see it here, just the surrounding of the old wall here. You can even go down here. Let's do some steps. I don't want to go any further here, but just some steps around. Yeah. Goes around and then deeper in the forest. Damn it. Okay. You're just up on the sideway here to the very top of the hill. So at the end of the whole area, just to show you what it looks like, to have a look from that, and that's the reason why this point was important in the old days. Let's try. Yep. We have it. Okay. Yeah, that's the reason Well, this hill is important. You can control the area from here. Well, that's why they did it. Yeah, right behind me there, you see, there's one of the small entrances to the Merovingian graveyard. Perhaps I used it, well, this side to tell you a story about Merovingians. So, name of the family, so Merovingian, so they go back to the 4th, 5th century, so as we know it. And there's a legend about the origin of the family. I think that this legend is quite important because that was an idea that drove the family for many centuries during their reign and during yeah, just taking care of their kingdom, or just defending their kingdom, or overwhelming of the kingdom. So that was something that drove them, and that's the story of their origin. The story of their origin is that one of the first Merovingian kings, that was Clodio, and Clodio, he had a wife, and the wife, she wanted to go to the beach, I don't know, just relax and taking a bath or whatever. So, and she fell asleep at the beach, and suddenly a beast with a bull's head occurred just from the water, just came out of the water, and we don't know what happened next. So, and anyway, they did the, I don't know, the husband and wife thing. So, let's say that. So we don't know if she was raped or she was given in, just cheated on her husband, and we don't even know if that was the case, because we don't even know if the beast from the ocean that came out of the ocean, if that wasn't Clodio himself transformed. So if he yeah, just transformed into a beast because it was already in his blood. Well, anyway, that's the myth they just had for their family. And the son that was born, that was called Merovingian. So so Mero was the father, so Mero is the beast from the sea. So, and we're not pretty sure about this story, if it's already told in the very first decades, but probably it's a story not about your great-great-great-great-grandfather 200 years ago that came up several hundred years later, but it's a story pretty close to the origin. So yeah, probably this story was already told about grandfather, so pretty near to the origin, and that is because this family became very, very powerful in a short time, and then they may have felt the need for justification for their power, and the justification was within this story. So they had the blood of the beast, and the blood of the beast was what made them natural kings in their eyes. So for their reign, and they stick up to it for a long time, and it wasn't easy for the Carolingian, who was the family who took over several hundred years in the Frankish Empire, yeah, to stand against that these old myths. So that was with the Merovingians, just in their blood. So yeah, that's the old story about the origin of the Merovingian family. So perhaps we should take a look at the graveyard. So enter that. Okay, that's it. We are inside of the oldest part of the graveyard, I think. Well, you see here, first coffin, stone coffin here. And yeah, they're pretty close to each other, so see that here. Next over here. Oh, these are old graves. Incredible thing is that even in the walls, so you see, this is a wall of a former building, so I don't know, perhaps it's a chapel or whatever. So, and you see even here, at the walls, in the walls. So that wasn't really properly planned, or they didn't follow a certain idea about how to handle all these graves exactly. Let's see what's there. Okay, that's maybe the entrance, the old entrance to this building. So now you see the church in the back. So this is already east of the church then. Yeah, it's amazing to walk around these old remains and to think that, yeah, one day in the past has been a Merovingian lying in that stone coffin. An old cave here. Not pretty sure what that was used for. Maybe part of a building, or maybe part of some bakery site or whatever. So facility here nearby. That is absolutely possible. So yeah. Yeah, it's really incredible. So everywhere you look here, just graves, graves everywhere. So even into the walls, or near the walls, under the walls, everywhere you look around, you find graves. And yeah, these are just the stone coffins, so we don't know how many more graves there might have been. So we know that from the bones we find, but yeah, not sure about that, if it was used another time and taking the old bones out or whatever. So it's at least 400 here on a small yard, or relatively small yard. Yeah, so you see near the walls here. Okay, why don't we just take a look at the main church and the buildings around here. Let's take a closer look to those ruins. It's amazing. Okay. Well, it doesn't look so reliable. Anyway. Go on, take our chances. Follow me. Okay. So, we're right inside the church now. Well, you can take a look around here. So at the altar, can you see that? Give you a look. So there we have the altar. And just imagine 1,000 years ago, well, that must have been. So, okay. So I just have to be careful. A lot of things around here. Okay, gonna go inside. So, okay. Oh yeah, we can even go deeper, but well, you see, this door is very small. Let's see if I can enter it. Okay. Alright, so. Okay. I think that's as deep or as far as it goes here. Yeah. Probably one of the oldest parts, so that's one of these cellars perhaps. So we just take a look up here at the former tower of the church. So okay, we're gonna head back to the inner circle here. Why don't we just take a closer look at the altar? Oh no, look at that. So we have some gravestones here. You'll see that. All just broken down and just crashed, but yeah, you can still see that. There was an inscription. But yeah, it's no longer possible to read that. You see, sometimes people coming around. So this place is pretty well protected normally, so by law. So destroying anything here, this is really strictly prohibited by French law, and is punished with up to 3 years. 3 years imprisonment. Well, that. So that's the altar. Let's take a closer look here. I don't think there's so much after this long time. So you see, there's a part that might have been something in that. So, but looks rather modern to me. So. Perhaps they use it for a cross on the altar. So take a look around. Yeah, and that's already on the outside. So the graveyard here, the old cemetery, and you see in the back there's probably been a building. Perhaps one of the first chapels or whatever, but even there you can see that they put these stone coffins right in the wall. So they must have been really out of space here at this area, putting the coffins everywhere around. So yeah. Yeah, finally smoking the Marlin Flake. It's good. It's pretty good. Show you the tobacco. So I already showed you the tin. So that's the tin. By the way, smoking that inside the church, here, very near one of the stone coffins, Merovingian stone coffins. Wondering who might have found his last piece. Here at this beautiful site, it's right in the church near the altar. The Marlin Flake. Yeah, Marlin Flake. This is one of those Rattray tobaccos. Famous, well known. Perhaps even over reviewed, I don't know. Well, there's several good reviews about that, so I won't keep that short. It is. It's a flake, of course. Marlin Flake. So, and there's dark Virginia, they say, black Cavendish, and Perique. Well, guys, that doesn't sound so exciting, but let's say at least Cavendish. That's not very often used in that combination. Sometimes it is, but it would be more classical just to use a bright Virginia and some Perique, so that's a classical vapor. In this case, a little bit different, so the Cavendish adds a nice sweetness to that, but there's enough Perique in it. So, and what's interesting to me, so I'll show you the tobacco. So that's how it comes if you have 100-gram tin. So in very large flake pieces. So yeah, it's very nice, nice color. I don't know how it works. Has a nice color, and the smell. A little sour note from the Perique, peppery notes, some raisin notes, and earthy. It is strong, and it doesn't have any topic on it, or it doesn't need anything. So, and for me, it's interesting how different the tobacco sometimes tastes. So sometimes it's more peppery, and it's more the strong notes. They come out even stronger for me. So. And sometimes it's just mellow and mild and sweet, and sometimes I nearly forgot that there's Perique in it, and sometimes I think, wow, there's a lot of Perique. So that's interesting to me. I think it depends on the bowl, and of course if you go slow on the tobacco, very slow, or if you go faster on the tobacco, or if you let it dry out a little bit. So most guys say that humidity is perfect. It's absolutely alright. And I think it is alright. I think perhaps you could do some drying. So let's say if you have a tin and you don't, so this tin that doesn't close very good, so you see that after some days some of the humidity is gone. So, but this is no problem. So it has enough humidity. My method is just to take something from that and just rub it out between both hands, and I like to rub it fully. I like to rub it fully out. So small pieces, no problem with that tobacco. By that way it burns pretty good, of course. Well, you don't have to do that. You can even use the folded stuff method. It will work, pretty sure. So the Cavendish, that provides a lot of sweetness, and the dark Virginia, some sweetness too, but enough strength. and then the peppery note by the perique. So I think that there's really a reason for this tobacco to be even famous. I think it's not one of the top 10 most famous tobaccos, but perhaps one of the top 50 already, or at least top 100. So and there's a reason for that. Don't want to leave you without the price. Okay, that's 19 euros 10 cents. I think that's a reasonable price for this tobacco. I think it is. Yeah, it's great tobacco here at a great site. I thought that might be appropriate. Share this tobacco with some old Merovingians. Yeah, guys. Perhaps I should tell you another story about those Merovingians at least. So, because I promised to. Alright, so there's a story about their name and how they got their name by the old beast. But what you perhaps want to know, if you don't know much about those Merovingians, so these were late antique, early medieval times. So that means those were then Christian times, so like the Carolingian times. So Charles the Great, he was a Christian emperor, and he ruled the empire by that way. But the Merovingians were very different. So incredibly what they did to their own family. So yeah. There's a story about Chlodwig, so one of the most powerful Merovingian kings, and they say about him that sometimes he sat down by the fire and he was crying that he had no more relatives, and he cried, "I have no more relatives. I'm just helpless in this world. I'm completely alone in this world." But the man who wrote that down, he said he was just telling that because he hoped that someone would come up and show himself as a relative of him, so he could kill him too. So those were the times. So Chlodwig, he killed many of his relatives. The reason was that he wanted to have the empire for his children alone. So he had to cut all the other families out. There are many stories about him. So one relative of him, he fought with him in many battles. He was wounded at his leg. He couldn't walk properly after that, but he could still fight and ride a horse and so on. But Chlodwig, he wanted to have his part of the empire too, and he said to the son of his friend, "Well, look, your father, he is old. He can't even walk properly. Kill him, and I'll give you his empire, and you can have it for yourself, and we would do incredible things together and rule the empire and so on." And the son, he did it. So he killed his father during a hunt in the forest. And he came back to Chlodwig and he said, "Yeah, well, the empire is now mine, but I give you all everything I have, my treasure, everything I have, just for you. That you are my ally and my friend," and so on. And what did Chlodwig say? He said to all the noblemen around, they were in the great hall, and he said, "Well, look at him. He killed his father. He should be dead right now." So, and they killed him right there. So, and then Chlodwig asked these noblemen, "Who do you want to have for your new king?" And they all said, "Well, we want to have you. Powerful, smart king, as you are." So, yeah, these are the stories about these old Merovingians. So. Yeah, those were the times. hard times, tough times. These were the times where Europe was built after the fall of the Roman Empire. So I think time needed some strong leaders, but those stories about those Merovingians are incredible. So that's why I said forget about Game of Thrones, the story, so, and double that. That's what you have in Merovingian times. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it for today. Just want to show you this incredible site. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna stay for some more days here in France. Let's see what I can find, what else I can find. And yeah, vacation's over, holidays over, new semester starts, university is up again, and a lot of work. So okay guys, hope you all are well, hope you have something good to chew on. Perhaps you give the Marlin Flake a shot. Sorry, that was a short review, I know, but there's enough good stuff on the YTPC already. Many trustworthy reviewers, so just give it a shot. I think you won't regret if you're with the naturals. So guys, take care, be well, and perhaps see you again. The camera. Okay. So I'll light up my pipe. Am I on site? Yeah, we all are. We just come over here, so we just have that at the right. Let's see. Oh, difficult. So we have this ruin. And I'm standing here, and you come closer to me. So
okay.
And you get over there. You see that we have the ruin. You see the ruin on the right side?
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, guys. Just a quick addition. We're just heading off and met this guys here. These are Boy Scouts, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
And we are here because on Sunday we are going to make an activities with children of Metz. We are playing on this place.
On this very place?
Yes.
Is this allowed?
I guess so.
I guess so. You won't do any harm to the ruin, so.
No.
I read a sign at the entrance that it's punished by 3 years in prison. Do any harm to the ruins.
Yes, but we will just organize games with children at the entrance of the place.
So, and you are from Metz, and you're organizing this Boy Scout thing.
Yeah.
So, what is your rank?
Your rank?
Well, are you a Boy Scout officer?
No,
I don't know anything about these
we are
ranks.
not. We don't have a big rank. We are just
5 guys. We are 5 chiefs,
Okay.
and there is no rank. Just one is the big chef, but that's all.
Okay. So, and what does this place mean to you? Did you even heard about that before you were organizing that?
Heard about this place because we are going to play a game about Mon, the priest, all priests, and we are going to play a game about knife, during the medieval age.
Yeah.
So that's why we are
About
here.
monks and knights and all those things. So
I think.
yeah, okay. And the ceremony is all of a monk and
Yes, we are going to play about the story of monk and knight.
yeah, because this was a monk territory up to the 17th century already. So and where do you do your tents? Where do those children sleep?
No, it's just one day, so no people sleep.
It's
just one day.
Okay, it's just one day.
It's during the summer we are going to sleep 4 or 5 nights.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Wish you all the best with that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the interview, for having us here
No,
on the YTPC channel. Say hello to the community.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it, guys. Take care.
Right.